Hello Internetians, my name is Josh, aka Ultra Player, welcoming you to Week 3 of the MLP. We are building for the Charlotte Beedrills and Coach Gray Fox Gaming this week. And your New York Renegades are actually coming off of a pretty big loss against Shea Column and the San Jose Torpedoes. A very haxy match, double paras, low rolls, full paras. Lots of bad stuff happened in that match, but he prepped very well, and I have to give him props. It's not, I can't say that if the hacks didn't happen I would have won, but I do know that at the very least it wouldn't have been a 4-0. It probably would, at the very least I would have lost 3 or 2-0. So the hacks definitely did hurt my differential, but you know what? If you fall down, you get back up, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to get up, and we are going to, my glasses just... We're going to get back up, and we're going to come back with a win in Week 3. Now, Gray Fox has an amazing, amazing team consisting of, as you can see, Mega Ampharos, Crawdont, Chandelure, Alakazam, Dusclops, Blastoise, Dugtrio, Behemoth, Zapdos, Whimsicott, and Conkeldurr. Now, when I look at his team, I notice a few things. Number 1, he has one Stealth Rocker, Dugtrio. Going over other things, his team is kind of slow. His team is a lot more of a bulky offense kind of type. He does have a spinner. He does have a defogger. He does have some mons that are pretty bulky, but he doesn't have a lot of straight up walls that just say no. And that's kind of how I built. I took that into account. I took into account that he has a lot of strong offense. Chandelure, Alakazam, Behemoth, Crawdont, Conkeldurr, and even his electric types. He has a lot of Volt Turn. By a lot, well, he has some Volt Turn, but he has 2 Volt Switchers. He has Whimsicott for U-turning. He has some Mons that can do some interesting stuff. He does have 2. He has a lot of double types. He has 2 Water types. He has 2 Ghost types. He has 2 Electric types. He has 2 Psychic types. That's another thing I really took into account. But Mega Ampharos is his Mega. Very bulky Mon, very slow Mon, has a lot of capabilities to be able to... What the hell? I don't know. Weird things going outside my window. I think might be the reflection off. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, back on track. Can be a good defensive wall. One of his few defensive mons, which is like Rest, Sleep, Talk, Volt Switch, Dragon Pulse, has some good coverage in Focus Blast and Power Gem. I have used Mega Ampharos before. I do like it very much. It can be offensive with agility for attacks. It's very strong with 165 special attack. Has very good bulk and can kind of plow through my team if I don't keep on my guard. Crawdont, very strong wall breaker. Water Dart Stab with adaptability, make it very hard to switch into. Unfortunately, has low speed, but it does complement that with stuff like Dragon Dance, Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, Life Orb, and Choice Band are typical items you see on it. It can run Ice Beam to hit its counters. I don't have a lot for it, but I have prepped for it to beat it and hopefully not get swept by it. Chandelure, very strong special offensive attacker. Yeah. I have faced one in another league, and I used one of the most creative sets I've ever come up with to beat it, and it almost worked. Very scared of this. I do have ways to beat it. I do have mons that can take it out. I hopefully won't get too damaged by it, although I really hope he brings a choice set with Spectre Scarf, because if he does, then I come out a lot better. Trying to like not have my glasses doing that. Anyway, Dugtrio, like I said, his only Stealth Rocker, which is very good to note. He has no other forms of hazards that he can set up, and that's good for my team because I do have some rock weaknesses going on. Really fast, not too strong, although it can trap some of my threats. It can trap Jirachi, it can trap Lopunny, although I don't think it wants to. It can trap Tentacool. It can trap my Clefable. It can trap my Pinsir and Sceptile if it wants. It can trap my Heliolisk. It can trap my Frogadier. It can do a lot of things. I fully expect him to bring it. I have planned a lot for this Doug Trio. And you will see that when we go over my team. Behemoth. I'm on that people probably laugh at. But I'm scared to death of this Behemoth. Analytic Life Orb. If anyone knows what Starmie does, yeah. Imagine that, only stronger and always going second. So there's that. Very strong. Very, very strong. One more time. Very strong. I am scared to death of this thing. I do expect him to bring it. But in my team builder, you will see how I plan to beat it. Whimsicott. Very annoying mon. Grass Fairy Stab. Doesn't do the best of work to my team, but Encore is kind of annoying. It has access to U-turn, Prankster Thunderwave, Leech Seed, Sub. It can be a very annoying mon. Very fast. Not too strong, not too bulky. Depending on how it's kind of like a misguided bulk. Like, yeah, if you fully invest in physical defense, it's gonna be a little. It can take a hit or two. Mega Alakazam. We already beat that one. Regular Alakazam. I'm not scared of this thing because if he brings it with Life Orb, then it does work. But then he dies to every hit on my team. Almost. I fully expect a Focus Sash set. If he does bring it, I don't expect him. I think Behemoth is more likely to come. Alakazam, if it does not have Life Orb, I wall it with multiple mons. My bulk just handles it well. Usually Alakazam is a very, very scary mon to deal with, but in this sense, I'm not worried about it. But I can check it. I did plan for everything. I am not going to have a repeat of last week. Dusclops, very bulky mon. Does not like losing its Eviolite. Very weak to knock off. Can set up Trick Room and be offensive. Has the ability to run weird sets like Curse, Toxic. It has Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split. Bulky mon, but easily manageable once you get rid of Eviolite. He has a Blastoise. His bulky water type. Access to Rapid Spin. Very, very good Rapid Spinner, in my opinion. Has access to Counter, Mirror Coat, Aqua Jet. The best move in the game, Scald. Can get Knockoff. Gets coverage and Dark Pulse to hit spin blockers. It has Aura Sphere. It has Ice Beam. It has Dragon Pulse. It does a number of things. It's very bulky and very hard to take down. It has good speed for a bulky water type, but my Tentacle is faster. And I do have ways to beat this, and I kind of expect him to bring it, but not really, because I have ways to, like, demolish it. But if he needs hazard removal, which he may want to bring, because I do have a Smeargle, I fully expect I would think he would bring that as his hazard remover over his Zapdos. Fast electric types are so good in this format, especially against my team. I can see this thing coming with an offensive set. I do have ways to beat it, depending on what it is, as long as it's... Depending on how he predicts, or what his set is, I can beat it, but I will have to play around that. Probably one of the biggest starts on his team right now is that Zapdos, along with his Behemoth. They do a lot of work to my team. Has access to Heat Wave, Hidden Power Ice, no flying stat outside of Air Cutter or Hidden Power Flying, gets access to Extra Sentry, gets Volt Switch, gets Defog, Roost, can go offensive or defense depending on what you need. Electric Flying covers a lot of stuff. He has a Conkeldurr, which I can see him bringing, but the set is kind of out there. I feel like if he wants to get the most out of this thing and take on my team the best, if he knew what I was bringing, I would see Sheer Force Assault Vest. Definitely. That is probably his best set. Sheer Force Life Orb becomes weak, and Guts Assault Vest, or Sheer Force Life Orb doesn't take hits as well, and Guts Assault Vest doesn't hit as hard, and can be walled by a lot of my team. So things I expect him to bring. I expect him to bring the Behemoth. I expect him to bring the Doug Trio. I expect him to bring the Crawdaunt. Those are three big threats that I'm scared of. I can see the Chandelure coming. I can see the Conkeldurr coming. And then the last mon, probably Mega Ampharos, maybe Blastoise. Gonna have some bulk in there. Doug Trio, you'll see I plan a lot for this thing. I can't let this thing trap anything on my team. Every member on my team has a big role And because I planned for everything, and a team like this, I didn't want to go hyper offense. Usually on teams like this, where I can't, it's hard for me to cover every threat, I usually just go hyper offense and pound, pound, pound. Unfortunately, I don't feel like I can do that this time, just because it can go downhill fast. I've built hyper offense in League before, and it does very well. I once swept someone with it. If it pressures your opponent a lot, but I can't do that this way. I built more of a bulky offense team to handle threats, and if that Duck Trio traps something and takes it out, then I'm in a very bad position. So I have planned around that very, very well. Behem, like I said, Behem, Duck Trio, Zapdos, Crawdaunt are the 4 big ones, and then the other 2, it's like I don't expect the Alakazam at all. Maybe Whimsicott, probably not. Probably not the Dusclops. Everything else is fair game, basically. So let's get into our team. The first mon we are bringing is our Mandibuzz. We are bringing a Big Pex Mandibuzz. Now, the reason I'm bringing that, I don't need Overcoat because he doesn't have a Spore move, he doesn't have Weather, and this lets me, if he's bringing Crunch Crawdaunt, I can switch in on Crunch, and I don't have to worry about my defense being lowered on the off chance he does get that and then being destroyed by Crabhammer. I have leftovers just for residual recovery, and I have enough speed on this to outspeed a Adamant Crawdaunt and a Jolly Conkeldurr, and one other thing, a Timid Mega Ampharos. I outspeed all 3 of those, and the reason why I want to outspeed those 3, depending on his Ampharos spread, if he brings in Agility, I expect him to go Timid so he can outspeed Mega Lopunny after an Agility. And if he does not set up that, if it's Mandibuzz versus Ampharos, I can Roost and get up to a higher amount of health before I switch out into what I believe to be my counter to it. And also, if it's really weakened, I can pick it off with a knockoff. I want to outspeed an Adamant Crawdaunt because Jolly has less power, and I want to knock off its item. I'm going to be spamming knockoff a lot. If I have the chance to go for knockoff, I'm more than likely going to go for it. Because if I get rid of these Mon's items, if I get rid of Life Orbs, if I get rid of Choice Bands, Choice Specs, his threats become a lot less powerful, and I can take them on easier. That is what I'm scared. Like, if I get rid of Crawdaunt's Life Orb, I wall it. If I can get rid of Chandelore's, whatever, I have a way to beat it. A better way to beat it. It's just, I want knockoff as much as possible, and I almost had it on 3 months. I have it on 2 months, but I want it on 3, and this is the first one. I have U-Turn for momentum to keep up the initiative. I have Brave Bird to take out Conkeldurr, knockoff, like I said, Roost to keep healthy, and this is my switch into, this walls a lot of his team. This walls some variants of Conkeldurr. It walls Duck Trio. It walls Alakazam to a point. It walls, it can just, like, it depends on sets, really. I mean, 100% I wall the Duck Trio, and that's why I started with this thing. I wanted something that beats Duck Trio, that switches into Duck Trio without any problem. It beats most variants of Conkeldurr. It can beat, it scares out the Dusclops. It scares out a defensive Whimsicott. It can scare out a lot of his Mons, and if I get rid of Crawdaunt's Life Orb and it's not a setup variant, I'd beat it. Mandibuzz just had a very good match at this time. I know he has 2 electric types, and I had to watch out for that. I had planned for that with the next Mon. But the reason why I say this is a switch into Duck Trio is because he's not going to be doing too much work with Duck Trio. This beats Duck Trio, as does every other Mon on my team. If he tries to trap something, it won't work. He'll die. But there are some Mons that he can't trap that I will use Mandibuzz as my switch-in for. And you'll see what I mean later on. So the next thing I noticed was I don't want Mega Ampharos beating me. I don't want Zapdos beating me. And I need something to switch into stuff like Behem and Alakazam, especially if I can get rid of their if I get rid of their Life Orbs, I'm a much better switch in. But I also wanted Wish support. I wanted just to switch into Psychic Stab. I wanted to switch in to Whimsicott, other than because this is not a switch in, and I just wanted something like that. So I have my Jirachi here, and as you can see, I have Shed Shell. This is one of the Mons I do expect him to try and trap with his Duck Trio, and it won't work. If he's banded, then he's in a really bad spot because he traps this thing. I immediately switch out into my Mandibuzz and click U-turn or knock off, whatever I feel is best, and then I just keep up the momentum like that. I have Wish, U-turn, Iron Head, and play rough. Now, the reason for this is, whoa, I just closed everything. The reason for all this, Iron Head, General Stab, hurts a good amount of his team and can help me flinch stuff down. Originally, I had Thunder Wave and had a pair of flinching set, but I can't really afford that. I have Wish, again, to keep up, to keep my Mons healthy. I have U-turn to keep up momentum. Because bulky U-turn or Volt Turn is the whole concept of this team. Or bulky, kind of like Volt Turn. It's not really offense, it's just more bulky Volt Turn. This Waltz, Whimsicott, scares it out. With Play Rough, I'm not afraid of Crawdaunt, which would be a general good switch in just because it resists or is immune to both my stabs. This also helps me fire back a hit against the Ampharos, which I wall. It lets me, I can destroy Alakazam. I can kind of destroy the Behem. Wish and U-turn let me keep my Mons healthy. And 24 speed is just, I believe, to make sure that nothing little speed creeps me, like the Blastoise or defensive Zapdos, or whatever. I do have speed caught on, unless it's Scarfed, which is good. And, again, I can't be trapped by Duck Trio. Spadef, Jirachi, gonna do a lot of work. Maybe flinch stuff down and win league game. I don't know. Probably not, but what can you do? Again, just make sure I don't get speed crept. Make sure I'm not trapped by Duck Trio. Everything on my team can either beat Duck Trio or not get trapped by it. And that's how that's going to work this match. This also means that I can pressure him and keep him from getting rocks. Although I do have a way to get rid of rocks. You'll see. But that is my Jirachi. And then I'm still weak to a lot of his Mons. I still need switch-ins to some of his Mons. I did put up, there's a lot of bulk on this team. But I also noticed that there's one Mon on my team that once I either get rid of some Mons or weaken some Mons or scout some sets, literally 6-0s him. And that is Calm Mind Clef. We are bringing a fully physically defensive Calm Mind Clef. That way I can do stuff like, I can set up, again, if he's Sheer Force, Life Orb, Conk, I take one Poison Jab. And I set up a Calm Mind. And I Moonblast him. If I'm faster. I do believe I will be faster. I don't believe he needs to run. I do outspeed him with my Mandibuzz, in case he does run max speed. But I don't expect him to run max speed. I expect him to run enough speed for Clefable, because that's all he needs. He doesn't really want... I don't think he wants to have enough speed to outspeed Mandibuzz, because if he's slower, then he can catch me on a roost and Drain Punch me. I do have 16 speed to make sure I do outspeed if he does try to speed creep me. But Moonblast at +1 Okos, a no bulk Conk, or a slow Conk. If he's Assault Vest, if he is Guts Assault Vest, that is perfect. I set up on him all day long. I set up on the Whimsicott if it does not have Encore or Thunder Wave or literally any of the stuff that you expect the Whimsicott to have. I set up on certain variants of Alec. Because if I can get one Calm Mind boost up, I can set up on Blastoise. Well, I can set up on Blastoise anyway if it does not have Roar. I can set up on the Mega Ampharos if I have a Calm Mind up already. If I already have a Calm Mind up, I can set up on Zapdos, on Alakazam, maybe Beheeyem. If I get 2 Calm Minds up, I believe I set up on Chandelure. My set is Calm Mind, Soft Boiled, Moonblast, and Shadow Ball. That way I can hit his only resistance to Fairy, which is Chandelure. And I can also hit Dusclops super effective. I also set up on the Dusclops if he's not cursed talk. If he's not no, even if he's cursed because I'm Magic Guard. Now, the fully physical defense also means I can set up on Dugtrio. Even if he's banded, I can set up on him and just Calm Mind, Soft Boil, Calm Mind, Soft Boil, blah blah blah, etc., and get to the point where I can just sweep him with this. He really does not have a lot other than Whimsicott's Encore, which is why I almost went Mental Herb, but trying to think of why I wanted Max Bold. Because originally I had Max Calm with like a few points in Calm or in Spadef. That way I could take on like Chandelure and stuff. I'm not sure. I think it's Psyshocks from Beheeyem, so I can take those and again continue to set up and win. Clefable, possibly going to get a sweep late game. I do have another Mon that might sweep late game, which you're going to see in a second. But at this point, I'm looking at my team. I'm like, oh great, I'm running Stall. I don't want to do that. I will not do that to anyone. I have faced Stall in leagues. He knows who he is when I talk about him. I faced a Shell Smash Contrary Shuckle with Toxic, Infestation, and Rest. And I beat it with Skarmory plus Latios. And it was really annoying. And I hate Stall, and I will never use Stall. Although this team looks very semi-stalling. But, again, like I said, the way to beat Dugtrio, I do take 2 Earthquakes from full. Even if he's Adamant Banned, which he won't be. He might be Jolly Banned, but he won't be Adamant Banned because then he loses to Heliolisk. So, the next Mon, again, I did not want to look Stall. I wanted offense. I wanted something that ripped him apart and the biggest offensive threat that I could see to his team. You know we have to bring this Mon. We are bringing our captain, Megalopony. Irresistible is coming again. And another Mon that he can trap with Dugtrio if I didn't have Baton Pass. Fake Out Return had Jump Kick, Baton Pass. I did have toss up some other moves in that last slot, but again, I need the freedom to switch against Dugtrio. I cannot be limited like this. If he starts taking my Mons with Dugtrio, then I'm just gonna get destroyed. This is another Mon that he can sweep late game. This is the only reason why I feel he might run a defensive Zapdos. And the only reason why I might see a bulky Beheeyem. I would much rather face a defensive Beheeyem than an offensive because I don't know what a counter is. Like, a lot of my things just get bodied by that thing because Analytic Life Orb. This is why I want Knockoff. If I get rid of that Life Orb, I'm a lot better off. But Fake Out lets me break sashes on stuff like Dugtrio, on stuff like Alakazam, and then fire back a hit. I have enough speed to outspeed the Alakazam and the Dugtrio, and then the rest in bulk with a max attack. I could not go Adamant, unfortunately, but hey, now I'm really bulky. Baton Pass, more Volt Turn. Sorry guys, I'm tired. This is like, it's almost 11 o'clock at night where I am right now. I'm really tired. Work has been work hasn't been hell. Work has just been exhausting. Lots of weird hours affecting my sleep schedule, so I love work. Words you will never hear, but I love my work. Just exhausted. Anyway, return to high jump kick is all I need. I don't need ice punch for Zapdos because return does more. I don't need thunder punch for Blastoise. Return does more. High jump kick does more. I don't need any of it. So baton pass was the last slot. I almost went substitute so I could better beat the Behemoth, but could not afford to. Could not afford any Ductrio weakness. Ductrio is literally to do 0 in this match. So I was having trouble fitting Stealth Rock on this team. I did put it on Clefable once. Couldn't do that because Calm Mind. I wanted Shadow Ball. I had it on Jirachi once. Jirachi's moveset was thrown up a lot. I had a couple different moves in the Play Rough slot. I had Wish Iron Head the entire time, but U-Turn was once Thunder Wave, it was once Protect, it was once Stealth Rock, Play Rough was once I can't remember. God, I'm tired. It was once Zen Headbutt, it was once coverage for Chandelure. But I wanted a Stealth Rock setter. So the next mon on our roster, making his season debut, is our Pinsir Stagger. We are running a Focus Sash Moxie Pinsir. So this is probably the more unique set of thing. How to beat Pinsir with this? Focus Sash. Obviously I can take any attack, but with 72 HP, I can take. With the Focus Sash, no matter what, he can't OHKO me if he's Life Orb or Banned. If he's Focus Sash, I can take a Stone Edge into a Sucker Punch. If he's not Focus Sash, I kill him with X Scissor. So there's that. And if he's is Focus Sash, then an X Scissor into Quick Attack will kill him. I get the Moxie boost, and then I can get a +1 Quick Attack on something, or get another move off, depending. There's a lot of things that may happen. This can also be a good revenge killer if I needed to. X Scissor, Quick Attack, and Rock Slide. I wanted knockoff on this thing. This is the third mon I wanted knockoff on because so much yawning. But Rock Slide is for Chandelure, so I don't become super weak. This can revenge a Chandelure. This is my Stealth Rock setter. I want Rocks up for this match because it pressures his team a lot, and it forces him to click moves that he probably won't want to click. He'd probably, guaranteed, if he's in with Blastoise, he'd rather click Scald, but if the Stealth Rocks are hurting him too much, he'll have to click Rapid Spin. X Scissor just for general stab, Quick Attack with priority, Rock Slide for the Zapdos and the Chandelure. Again, I could have run knockoff for the Chandelure, but I wanted Rock Slide for the Zapdos, so I'm not completely walled by it, and don't give it a free Volt Switch, and I don't give it free anything. I have enough speed. What do I have enough speed for? There was something weird that I had. Was it something weird, or was it just something? Oh no, it's just Chandelure. I thought it was something weird. I was gonna say this kind of looks like at +1 I beat something, but yeah, I beat the trio. I can get a Moxie boost potentially. Focus Sash, I can potentially kill the Crawdaunt. That Focus Sash can literally make or break the entire match by killing Crawdaunt, by killing the Behemoth. I kind of wanted to run an offensive Pinsir with Life Orb at max speed and all kinds of stuff to beat the Crawdaunt, Earthquake to beat the Ampharos, and Rock Slide beats this, and blah, and blah, and blah. But I wanted a Stealth Rock setter. Maybe if I face him another time, we will go Swords Dance or something. But for now, I have a Stealth Rock setter that beats the trio, that can revenge something if I absolutely needed to. Quick Attack may not do a lot of damage, but this is 125 base attack. It's going to do some damage. It can pick off certain weakened mons. So in the final slot, I wanted Heliolisk. because Volt Switch will be so nice because I can just kill literally everything, since the trios can be killed by basically everything on my team. But then I noticed a huge weakness, and that was Chandelure. Chandelure will body my entire team. It even bodies this last mon, which is Tentacruel, if it has the Psychic. But I do take Psychics pretty well, depending on its set. If he's Choice Scarf, then I'm fine. I can fire for Skull, I can fire for Knockoff, and get rid of items. So, this weird set. Again, I do not want to lose to Duck Trio. Once Duck Trio is gone, I put in so much work with other stuff. If I can get Calm Mind up with Clef, I can put in so much work with that. But to beat this thing, I have a Sugar Berry, and I have Icy Wind plus Scald. I have, how did I have it? Oh, right. I can easily take EQ and Sucker Punch without any issues whatsoever. Just a little bit of physical bulk. The rest is Spadef. I have enough speed to where after I Icy... How I figure it is, if he comes in with Duck Trio on me, and he traps, he goes for EQ, I eat my Sugar Berry, take not too much damage from it, and I Icy Wind. And I drop his speed, and I do a whole bunch of damage. With this speed, I outspeed that -1 Duck Trio if he's max speed Jolly, and I can finish it off with a Scald or a Rapid Spin, depending on this, depending on that, blah, 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 blah. The rest in Spadef just to take hits better, and Knockoff, because I want to get rid of items. I have said this so many times, but I want to get rid of items so bad. His offense is very scary, but I do believe I'm taking this on very well. I also have Liquid Ooze because this lets me switch into Kong. This lets me switch into Whimsicott and hurt them when they go for Giga Drain or Drain Punch. Or does he have anything else that will want to do that? I don't think so. But this also gives me a good switch into the Blastoise. I did have Toxic Spikes on here, but I gave it up for Knockoff and Icy Wind. So, biggest threats I see on this team is that Chandelure. Against this team. Everything else, well handled. Duck Trio is just a little bit handled, just a little bit, you know. I have a little bit for it. I do have this match tomorrow, so there's going to be that. So, by the time this goes up, his side might already be up. Anyway, is there anything else? Other things I wanted to bring, Smeargle so bad and just hazard stack him. And then have Roar here or Whirlwind here or whatever and just body him to the point where Lopunny comes in and collects a bunch of moves. But then I became too weak to stuff. I don't think I had Sceptile on this team at all. I know I can see Sceptile putting in some work, but I didn't have it too much. I did say I had a Heliolisk on this team. I did think about Rotom for spin blocking purposes, but Dark Pulse, bye. And then Frogadier, not really. So, that is the team. Tomorrow we will have the battle, and hopefully we can come out with a big win. I'm really excited to face him. This is the first person who I'm going to be able to see their side and know what their placement. So make sure you go to the link in the description, go to his channel, like his video, subscribe to him. He is an almost awesome person. He does shiny hunting. He does Pokemon Wi-Fi battles. Pokemon. I've been saying it like that. I know it's Pokemon or Pokemon, but I always say Pokemon with a stick. I've been saying Pokemon recently just to aggravate people. It's been really funny. Anyway, he does Wi-Fi battles. He does shiny hunting. He does Let's Plays. He's really cool. I love him to death. Anyway, that's going to be the team. I hope everyone really enjoyed this. Battle goes up tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Go New York!